2023. The meeting is held in person. It can be viewed on local cable channel 1303 or on the internet by accessing townhallstreams.com and selecting Bucksport. Questions or comments may be submitted prior to or during the meeting by emailing slasard@bucksportmaine.gov or during the meeting by calling 469-7368. Roll call, Jake.
Councilor Eastman?
Here.
Councilor Morrison?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Bissonnette?
Here.
Mayor Stewart?
Here.
Councilor Ormsby?
Here.
Councilor Bishop?
Here.
Councilor Rankin?
Here.
Presentation of any town council recognitions. I don't believe we have any. Consider minutes of previous meetings. We have council minutes from 1/12/2023. How the council like to proceed?
Motion to approve. Second.
Any questions? All those in favor? Opposed? Next is correspondence. Down East Transportation Ridership Report, September through December of 2022. Pretty active. Everybody knows those.
I wanted to mention that if you notice the change between October and November, we started the second day the second day of service on November 14th, and the ridership went from 39 in October to 76 in November. So clearly that second day of it for a first month, I thought that was excellent. So just to note that that additional day is being used. So.
Next is ordinances to consider. We have second readings. Proposal to change the zoning of map 32, lot 117, 118, 121, 122, and 126 from village to downtown.
Motion approved.
Any questions on that? No, we're gonna have a public hearing on that
okay,
next
sorry.
meeting, so just checking on questions. Next is a second reading to the change to the fee schedule for the commercial solar permit fee. And the third one is our first reading of a new Chapter 3 animal shelter that we discussed the last time of moving that out of public safety and into our town ordinances. If there's no questions, all these will be held, there will be a public hearing on all of these at our next regularly scheduled council meeting on February 12th, I believe it is. 9th, 12th, 9th, February 9th. February 9th, 7 o'clock. Discussion items. We had Service Committee Report 1/26/2023.
We had two candidates for Planning Board, Michael Hayduck and Jason Grand Mason, and the Service Committee suggests we go with Michael Hayduck.
Thank you. Infrastructure Committee.
Yeah, the committee recommended the shelter be placed behind the town garage with noise mitigation measures to limit any nuisance from the dogs. And we also recommended working with the property owner at the Crumpet to seek a solution for the water issues.
Have something on the next agenda about the animal shelter, or?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Regulatory review.
Yeah, we reviewed the shelter policies and fees, you know, we had reviewed in the last council meeting as they were moved to the ordinances, and we reviewed the holiday expression policy.
And we'll see that at our next meeting too, the policy, okay?
That would go on for an approval.
Yep.
That isn't first, second reading item.
Okay. Library, not on the agenda, but for discussion items. Somebody here from the library, was there? Or?
Yes.
Yep.
I was actually told by Doug to say, basically, you're not seeing Kim tonight, you get me. I'll pass this along so that you all have a copy of this, and I'll just go over a few highlights. This is just, we're trying to do quarterly reports to you. We have been very busy. Each year, libraries in the state are required to report our statistics to the state library. These statistics then get parsed out into larger reports that go to the feds, and that's what helps pay for public libraries. So our 2022 statistics, we had a total count of 8,795 people using the library. We hosted a total of 131 programs with a total of 2,820 people attending them. Our top 3 programs were Wizarding Weekend, with 264. Ghostport, 352 participants, and the Candy Cane Fest, 123. As of today, we have 1,268 registered patrons. Actually, that's wrong. I issued 2 new library cards tonight because we have a policy that when children are 5 or older, they can get their library cards. So we had 2 young children in there tonight getting their library cards. Our Storytime and STEAM programs are continuing to grow. I was awarded a $2,100 grant for STEAM programming, which will help pay for the supplies and programming that we're doing this year. We were also awarded a $15,000 national grant from the Association for Small and Rural Libraries to pay for heat pumps this spring. Myself and other volunteers are reading each week at Jed Prouty to residents as they eat their lunch. This is a new program. It's proving to be quite fun and successful. Meg Kay from Porticall donated a bunch of gift items to us when she closed her store that we're using to sell to increase our funds for books and programs. This is especially appreciated because our annual appeal this year yielded much smaller sums than anticipated, which is a trend that's basically happening throughout all of the libraries in the state of Maine, I think, with the downturn in the economy. Our summer reading program this year will begin June 3rd and run through August 18th. The national theme this year is All Together Now. We plan to work with local businesses and nonprofits to connect participants with the community with interactive programs throughout the summer. This will include 2 programs with Chewonki. Author Jerry Boyle is going to be coming up with a program for us that I'm doing with Paula Key. And then we're going to have a free film at the Alamo with other additional programs. We have identified, the librarian and the trustees have identified 3 structural needs to the library: replacement of our bookshelves, carpeting, and a new furnace and boiler. All of these projects are going to be dependent on grant awards and availability of contractors once the grants are secured. I am about to send a grant to the Maine Community Foundation in hopes that we can get custom-made shelves from the state prison. This is a program that has been very popular with libraries because we can basically give them exactly what we need, and we're paying far less than we would to a commercial vendor, so it's kind of a win-win, and all of it stays in Maine. So there you go. Any questions?
Can you remind me again what STEAM stands for?
Science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics.
The A, I didn't understand. I forgot what the A was. Thank you.
A was added, the STEM, A was added about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And it's actually become a really important component because we do have some kids that just prefer to do art. So when we do our programming, we're basically putting out different activities. Tonight was interesting. We had a marble run. We had kids working with tiny circuits, and then some with magnets, and they were basically putting magnets through the bookshelves and then running around with their little magnet thing to see if they could find it. So, you know, it's a lot of free play. Colleen Gross was in the Bucksport Next meeting with me the other night and mentioned that she's hoping to get the robotics team in once in a while to give us some guidance, which I think would be really good. But we're really enjoying it. We have a really good, dedicated group of volunteers, and it's continuing to grow. And we have, you know, not only community members here, but we've actually had families from Surrey and other surrounding communities. So it's
Great.
it's a good program.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions?
Nope.
All right.
Thank you, Lisa.
Next is agenda items. Resolve 2023-38 to approve the sewer commitment for the period October 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022 in the amount of $238,812.52. How would the council like to proceed?
Motion to approve?
Second?
Any questions? All those in favor? Opposed?
Lisa.
Passes. Item 9 is appointments, assignments, and elections. We do have one appointment to the planning board. On recommendation from the services committee, be Michael Hayduck. How would the council like to proceed?
Motion approved.
Second.
Further questions? All those in favor? Opposed? Congratulations. Approval of quitclaims, discharges, and deeds. We have Heidi Golding and Michael Golding sewer liens dated 9/29/2017, 3/20/2018, 9/27/2018, 3/20/2019, 9/27/2019, 3/20/2020, 6/30/2020, 9/29/2020, 3/24/2021, 6/15/2021, 9/29/2021, 3/24/2022, 6/16/2022, and 10/21/2022. How would the council like to proceed?
Motion approved.
Second.
Questions? All those in favor? Opposed? Next is the town manager report.
First, I had the opportunity on Wednesday, January 18th, to meet with the two finalists for the Down East Family YMCA Executive Director position at a meet and greet with Y board members and the candidates. I was asked to participate in that because Bucksport has a Y program here, and I'm happy to report that both are highly capable individuals, and I do not envy the board their final choice. As far as a landfill update, I have received more environmental monitoring information from DEP in regard to the AIM landfill. It is 5 years' worth of monitoring well data, as well as a map that shows the location of the well, so that it is possible to determine direction of any contaminants that may be increasing. DEP indicated that the legal questions were still being discussed between the department and the AG's office, but also recommended that we have our town attorney look at the topic. I participated in the radio show on the landfill topic with WERU, who had separately had a number of concerned citizens discuss the topic as well. I attended via Zoom the Bucksport Next meeting on January 23rd. It was an informative meeting where numerous groups updated attendees on current events pertaining to their work. And we also had a new attendee, Emily Fitzgerald, who was working on a program website that she called The Village, whose purpose was to be a host for, to quote her, an army of volunteers that can assist groups in the community with projects as well as school volunteering, and to provide moderated forums on topics of interest in the community. And we look forward to seeing and hearing more about this project in the future. I attended, again via Zoom, the Bucksport Bay Healthy Community Coalition Board meeting on Wednesday, January 25th. I was asked to provide an update on transportation, which included the rising public bus numbers resulting from the additional day, as well as information on the verbal landfill proposal that had been made by AIM. Vanessa Newman is the consultant for the BBHCC now, replacing Denise Keene, and she's really hit the ground running and been very helpful with outreach on public transportation, work on the Thriving in Place program, and in creating and expanding connections between BBHCC and other local organizations. Whole Oceans. I had a call with Whole Oceans public relations person on Friday, January 20th, about where the project stood and what was happening with it. Following that call, I received an email from senior consultant to the project, Michael Thompson, with a report on what the company had been working on. And we will be receiving, from now on, more regular updates. And Mr. Thompson's update was as follows, and bear with me, there's a few words in it. In it, he says, we formally started construction on Lot 2 in July, beginning with a mandatory pre-construction meeting with DEP, which was attended by your code enforcement officer. We told Luke that he was welcome on-site at any time during this construction. The required third-party inspection services are being provided by Moist Environmental of Bangor. Whole Oceans has contracted with Penobscot General Contractors for the site prep construction work, which is the current focus of our construction efforts. As you may know, Ames work took the existing buildings and infrastructure down to the ground surface, and a good part of our effort this summer was confirming the location of pipes, depths of foundations, etc., so that we can fine-tune excavation and foundation plans. We also spent a lot of time cleaning up debris and making the site safe for construction workers. Site investigations conducted as part of the site prep work are now forming final grading and foundation plans for Lot 2 and are being used to plan the best use of Lot 3 so that permit modification applications can be submitted to DEP and to the town. Luke Cavelli was kind enough to tour the warehouse on the waterfront with us, and his regulatory input has helped us consider the best use of the building. DEP remains under contract with Whole Oceans for leasing dock space for their oil spill response barge. We are in full compliance with our site location of development permit and have, for example, just submitted our annual ambient water quality monitoring report to DEP. As you may know, we have contracted with the University of Maine for this effort. Luke also indicated that we are in compliance with the town's approvals. The waste discharge license must be renewed by November of 2023, and DEP has indicated that we just need to submit the previous materials with an update based on the water quality monitoring work by the university. We moved our offices from Main Street to the MMA building this summer to take advantage of being on site and as part of our growing relationship with MMA's new president, Jerry Paul. We have granted temporary approval to the church to use part of our parking lot east of Route 15 for their parking needs, and also gave permission to Wardwell Construction to temporarily stockpile construction materials on the parking lot. We also lined up there for the Parade of Lights this winter. CMP completed its preliminary high voltage interconnection study and confirmed a clear path to connecting to the grid. We continue to work with CMP on the nature of the connection and site-specific issues such as potentially relocating some of their lines to put them adjacent to our proposed roads to provide easier access for maintenance activities. Excuse me. We continue to work with AIM on the repair and maintenance of the water supply system, with AIM taking the lead with our financial support. As with all projects of this scale, the supply chain ripple effects from COVID are still being felt, and some items, including equipment for the high voltage connection, have lead times of 1 to 3 years. These supply chain issues are a challenge for all projects of this scale, hence the need for us to consider multiple pathways for equipment procurement and scheduling building construction. I am, for example, also working on other RAS projects in California and Europe, and these projects are facing the same supply chain challenges. There's a lot of working going on with regards to construction, but given the complexity of these RAS projects and supply chain factors, much of it is not visible to the public yet. That's Whole Oceans, and we'll be receiving a report every couple of months from them from now on. The department budgets are due to me by February 17th, and outside agencies who are requesting funding have a request return date of February 23rd. LD 290. There are a number of bills that are being proposed in the legislature to try and improve the law passed last year that is supposed to freeze senior citizens' property taxes if they meet certain criteria. Some of the new bills propose replacing the law with one that instead provides an increased homestead exemption for seniors who have owned a property for a certain amount of time. Despite the good intention of the bill, there are a number of features that would fall under the law of unintended consequences. It appears that even if the current law is changed, its effective date would not be until 2024, meaning that the town will have to work through the complexity of administering what is currently in effect. And just a reminder that our goals and objectives meeting is next Thursday at 6 p.m. here at the town office.
Thank you. Any questions? Next is public hearings or approval of licenses or permits. I don't believe we have any.
We are going to have the 3 public hearings at the next.
I was gonna set those up under
Oh,
14.
sorry.
Next is discussion items not on the agenda for the council or the public. Anybody in the public have anything that's not on the agenda? Anybody on the council?
Yeah, I have.
Yep.
I've gone to the appeals board, or I put in an application to the appeals board for the decision that was made last time on the Gully Road. So that's gonna be opened back up at some point if I can get an appointment with the appeals board.
Okay. Thank you. Upcoming public hearings and committee assignments and scheduling of committee meetings. We will have 3 public hearings. You have a date on that, Jim? Is there a date been set on that?
No.
Okay. So scheduling of committee meetings. Do we have any committees that need to meet? I don't think so.
We kind of.
We've got the goals committee next week, so that's on there for, at 6 o'clock, and then, we will have 3, public hearings over the ordinances and the changes, on our February 9th meeting. All right,
Is this when we speak about past things in the past?
it can be, yeah, that was a second ago, but I'll let you come out if you didn't hear me, that's all
I'm
right.
not familiar with the system.
That's all right, I probably wasn't loud enough anyway.
Oh, yeah, I could hear you well.
Okay,
Harold Morrison out in Hueytown, and I'd like permission to ask 5 simple questions pertaining to this Galley Road vote last month, whatever, if I may.
just, normally under this, there isn't discussion back and forth. This part is just for you to bring up things. I can't guarantee that there's gonna be any answers, because nobody is prepared to know what those answers are. Is that fair?
Sounds fair to me. I'll have stuff ready next trip.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can you just, is it something that you wanna put on an agenda item? Is that what you're getting at then?
No, I wanted to ask certain councilmen the reasoning. In order for me to proceed with what I'm trying to do out there, I need to know where I failed or I didn't fail. And I would like to ask some of the councilmen what their reasoning was for the way they voted. Because the first time around when I was sitting here, it was unanimous. And then all of a sudden, it was completely turned around, and I just was curious as to why.
Okay. Can I ask you to come back at our next meeting then, so we can let folks chew on that to figure out how we're gonna proceed with that?
Certainly may.
I think that's the best answer I can give you, because I'm not sure people are,
I do have a right to know why it was voted the way it was, correct? Because it pertained to me? Or is it just when there's a vote, it's, oh yeah, I get to raise my hand? There must have been a reason, that's what I'm trying to fish out. I don't wanna come in and waste the time.
Yep.
I'm trying to fish out,
I don't know, and I'm speaking for me, I don't know the answer why, on any votes that we
Right.
take, when we have discussions,
uh-huh,
and there's been discussions over this over several meetings.
okay.
And I assume that council members form an opinion and vote on what they've heard and what they feel in their guts.
Hopefully.
That's where
That's what I was trying to find out.
that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I don't know, and you caught me off guard,
Mhm.
because I don't ever remember of questioning how folks vote. I don't know if that's, can you give me a chance to look into that and ask the question to see if it's even?
Yes, oh yeah,
Thank-
I said a moment ago, yeah, I'll wait.
Yeah, because I don't know the answer for sure.
No, I didn't figure you would, but I was taking a chance on finding out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, if you'd like, and again, this is, you know, you can certainly contact any council member yourself too and ask them those questions outside of this.
Oh, really?
Certainly.
Okay,
I have people call me all the time and ask on items and stuff,
all right. Yep,
So-
well, that's good to know.
yeah.
Yep.
So,
All right,
but let me ask some questions to make sure that I'm not giving you bad information one way or the other, because
Right.
I truly don't know the answer to that, but.
if anything comes up or anything you need to pass on, you could pass it on to James, because he sees me every day.
Yep.
And that would,
Yep. But like I say, anybody can call any of the council members and ask
Uh-huh.
questions too.
Alright.
That's certainly a purview of any citizen,
okay,
to ask those questions, and then you can base what you get for your answers sometimes that way too. So,
well, yes, that's part of my deal is,
Yep.
if I'm aiming in the wrong direction, give up.
Yep.
You see what I mean? But I don't know what it was based on. By the information that I've had, most of the information I have was researched, and the state doesn't totally agree with some of the stuff that goes on here. But I need
Yep.
a starting point.
Can I get back to you, but you can also look the other way and ask folks too if they've got a reason or what their thought was behind it too?
At this moment?
No.
No. I'd rather not. I'm happy with the answer that I can contact any of them when I want and find out
Yeah.
information.
And as the council chair, if you don't get a response, please let me know.
Certainly.
You know, as a citizen, that's what we're here for, and,
Mhm.
you know, as I tell people sometimes when I talk to them, they may not like my answer, but at least I'm gonna make sure I give them an answer, so.
It's coming to me honestly, so why could I object to it? you
Sure,
know?
and that's what I hope it happens.
Yes.
So,
All
yep,
right.
yep,
Thank you very much.
thank you. All right. Anything else?
Did you have anything, Rich? Yes?
Oh, Sue, we were so.
Oh, no,
Economic Development on the 13th.
we have a meeting tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, we have a Bay Festival meeting tomorrow for the town staff.
I purposefully didn't put that on my manager's report because I thought you would report on that, Rich.
Yes,
And economic development is on the 13th?
the 13th.
All right, so you were gonna announce that at our next regular council meeting anyway, because it was.
That's, yes.
Yeah,
You just covered it.
thank you. Item 15 is adjournment.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor? Thank you.